This is 50 King Sharif and Drewski.
Yeah, we here. We in the building.
You know it, bro. Listen, let's get straight to it. A seat at the table. What does that mean for you? Are you a DJ? Are you an A&R? What are you going by right now?
I'm still a DJ at heart. Like, DJing comes first, but definitely not just the A&R, but a producer. Like, a lot of the records, not a lot, most of the records on this project, we sat there and produced, whether it was getting producers, putting artists together.
Mm-hmm.
So we built this album pretty much from scratch. And the whole concept of seat at the table it's not just for me. I'm not talking about myself, but people like you, people like the artists that are on this project that work hard, that put in, the grind, and now we deserve our time, you know what I'm saying? Our seat at the table, in a sense.
It's a collective. I want to go back to the artwork, man. A seat at the table. You're someone, every record has a plaque. And you got a plaque for Pop Smoke. Not many people can say that. He's gone, rest in peace to him. But you got a record that can sit on your wall that says Pop Smoke on it. What does that feel like?
Well, first, I haven't got it yet, right? We're still waiting on the actual plaque.
So you don't know?
No, we know.
Okay.
We know, but no, it feels amazing. Like, to be a part of that history and Pop's story. And actually, the first record that was on Seat at the Table when we started the concept and made the idea was a record called Mary Jane. And we never put it out because it didn't get cleared in time. It leaked on like YouTube, but it was Pop Smoke and Lil TJ. And it was called Mary Jane. That was my first record I produced, put them together before Mood Swings, before any war, before none of that. And when Pop passed, I felt like it wasn't right to put the record out. Just something wasn't sitting right with me.
Right.
But they ended up using his verse on that record, on the Woo, with 50 and Rowdy. And in exchange, I still get my producer credit. They showed a lot of love. Shout out to Stephen Victor. And, just to be a part of that is, like, amazing. You know what I'm saying? No one knew how quick or how big Pop Smoke was going to get. But when I first heard Welcome to the Party, before it was on the radio and all that, I reached out. He hit me up, and we built a relationship. And I'm the first one to, like, play it on the radio, and that alone to me was enough, but to see how much he accomplished is like amazing.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
50 Cent executive produced that. Is that the first time you ever worked with 50 Cent at all?
Well, no, I really didn't work with no one, to be honest. It just, when Pop passed, I think they were just trying to figure out what music he had left over, what they can use, and because that record never went out, they somehow got it to 50 or to Pop's engineers, and they made it happen. So I wasn't in the room or nothing when it happened. Someone hit me like, yo, I think they used Pop's verse on Mary Jane on the Woo, and I was like, oh word, I didn't hear the record yet. It wasn't even out, and then they started like leaking, not leaking, but putting records out. And then when the album came out, I was like, oh shit, like it's crazy.
Real.
Yeah,
this is the real thing. Real thing.
Fire.
Now that's a big deal because a lot of people know you from being on the radio. A lot of people know you from DJing in the streets, tri-state, and now you got a whole album out. What's it like from that perspective? Because now in my eyes, you're an executive.
Right.
You're an executive now. Has that ever crossed your mind? You're really here?
Nah, I just do what I love, right? So whether it's DJing, the clubs, being outside, now producing records, it's just part of like what I do. So I don't really like look at it no other way, but besides, I love doing it and I'm gonna do it. But like, people been hitting me up, calling me. My man just called me while we were sitting here and he's like, yo, like, you inspiring me, dropping records, dropping albums. Like, as an artist, it's inspiring him. So, the fact that I can inspire people by doing this, I think that's the most important part. Like, yeah, I enjoy doing it. We have fun. These are my guys on, these artists. But people are inspired, and I think that's the most important.
You got records on a project like 2020 Vision, nights like this. Can you think about the memories that you made making this particular project?
Yeah, of course, man. We've been working on it for a minute before quarantine and all that. 2020 Vision, I remember us leaving actually High 97. I think I interviewed Chef and Sleepy, and we were leaving the building, and I just said, yo, I'm working on this project. I need to get the guys on it. And they're like, of course, whatever you need. I said, so let's go now. I think Chicano hit up Penthouse Studios, like, yo, we're going to pull up. The studio was available. We went straight there. Producers was in the room. I played them some beats, but it was like, just happened to be producers in the room, shot the AR, and I'm like, yo, if you got some stuff, because I like giving opportunity. I said, yo, just play some stuff for them. And we just started listening to different beats, and they were like, yo, this is cool, but let's rebuild it.
Right.
And Chef and Sleepy sat there and, like, built the beat to the way they like it. And, we were in the studio cooking up. And it was just all good, positive vibes. This is before Sleepy had a platinum record, you know what I'm saying? We were cooking up, and you see the hunger and aggression in them. And I think, those are the moments that stand out. Like, yo, we were really in the studio together doing this, not just sending verses and sending beats. Like, we cooked up together.
You're getting a lot of people before they actually pop. The Brooklyn drill music sound is really, hats off to you, man, because you're really tapping into these artists firsthand. Mm-hmm. Who's somebody that you feel like really started you with the Brooklyn drill music, and from there, you really started to tap into it?
Well, we all kind of credit Bobby and Rowdy for what they're doing, so I definitely was in tune with that. Then you had like Bleezy, D.O.D. that was doing it, in Brooklyn, but I don't think people considered it drill at the time, right? Because Bleezy's like my guy, and I was playing his records before, but he was more like a rapper, not the drill kind of tone. But they kind of created and was a part of that whole Brooklyn young energy. But I think when Tutu and Chef really started taking the UK beats and rapping a certain way, and I think, that's what I feel like is what people consider drill, Brooklyn drill now. But from the very beginning, like Tutu, I fuck with Tutu, I fuck with Chef, like those are my guys. So I was in tune from the very beginning. Even, it was beef records, but I just knew the city and the kids was rocking with it. So I was already, we had relationships. And I know it gets like confusing and messy when it comes to Brooklyn drill, but I think what Chef and Tutu started is what people consider Brooklyn drill today. So.
And it's going far. It's going far.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's out of here. Like, Drake is doing drill records. He got Fabio and Sosa on the record. Like, that's how big it is when pop stars are doing it.
Does it put pressure on you now that you've made this kind of a bigger movement, and now you got an album with a lot of these artists you're tapping into them? Does it put a little pressure on Drewski as a radio DJ?
Nah, well, the pressure is I want people to understand, like, it's bigger than just being a radio DJ, right? Mm-hmm. I'm really tuned into what's happening. I'm really outside. So a lot of radio DJs, unfortunately, like, they got super talent and they're great on the radio, but then they wait till things come to them. Like, the pressure is just keeping up with what's relevant. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I got to be a superstar. Nah, it's not about that. It's just I'm that guy that, people look to for new music and new artists, so I got to make sure I'm always in tune. And as long as I enjoy it and I like being out and I like building relationships, I think we're good.
You're a dot connector. Lil TJ said, you know what? I'm going to coin this guy the dot connector. Does that mean like you're moving away from doing parties as a DJ? I mean, big on the radio, you've done reality TV, now you got a whole album. Does that mean later for DJing in the streets?
Nah, I just said to my man that just called, I'm still, I enjoy it, right? So until I stop enjoying it, for whatever reason that is, I'ma still do it. And it don't matter where I DJ. Like, as long as they respectfully paying, then I'm there. And it could be in the trenches, it could be in the Hamptons, it don't matter. Like, when people hit me, if everything works out, I'm there. It don't matter where it's at. But I enjoy DJing, and I think being outside in the clubs is what helps me stay in tune to what's going on. Yeah, because I could go to a spot in Brooklyn and new artists is on me. I know what's going on. Like, when you spoke of TJ, the first time I met TJ, I was in the Bronx at like a hood spot. And he was a little kid, and he came in there and like, yo, Drewski, this little TJ, he's talking to me. I think I played his record, he was performing in a small little spot. And that's how I met him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, being around in those spots is what keeps me relevant.
Keeps you alive. I like that. It keeps me. I like that. 13 records on this particular album. A seat at the table means a lot to me that you even had 13 songs, because now everybody's putting 7 songs together and releasing projects. Right. Why 13 songs?
13 don't represent nothing, but it just happened, there was more records that didn't get cleared in time, that didn't make the album, producers ain't clear the beat. So hopefully we, get those out on a deluxe or a new project. But it just was like, yo, these are the first 13. We finished 100% fully done. Let's not waste no more time. Let's put it out. And I think, out of those were ones I actually wanted people to hear too. Like you said, the Maceo Guns and Busy Bank song. A lot of people are not up on them yet as much as they should be. And I feel like they're underrated, and I feel like they deserve their seat. And this record kind of, shows that. And it's produced by Hitmaker. So it's like you get a super huge producer like Hitmaker and putting these young boys on it. It's like, I got to start paying attention to it because they killed it. You know what I'm saying? So it's exciting to like start bridging those gaps.
Now, I was really taking a chance, man, putting guys that are new, nobody knows, on Hitmaker beats.
Right.
You weren't afraid at all to jump out the window.
Nah, you can't be afraid. If you're going to do it, you got to do it. You can't be afraid. Like, you can't. Even like I got Mr. Chicken and King Rico, 2 artists from Jersey. Mr. Chicken is probably one of the hottest. I'm not saying the, but probably one of the hottest in Jersey. And I made sure, yo, we got to get him on this project. Like, you might not know who he is, but if you listen to this project, you're going to understand why he's on there. And then once you go follow him and hear his other music, then you're like, okay, now it makes sense.
I think your album has a big sign that says pay attention on it.
Right.
A big sign that says pay attention on it. But for me, I want to ask you, who are the artists or how many songs did not make it to this particular project?
I don't know exact number. There were songs that, like, I was waiting on that people were supposed to send through. So it was maybe like 5 that probably didn't make it in time or not completely finished. But we still working. Like, I got a whole nother idea I want to do. Like, we spoke about the drill music. I think that there's a spot for that too. Okay. You know, I had a couple of drill records on the album. Shout out to Ron Swish and Ron Suno. They did the Mop record. Then Fabio Fetty and Sosa did the Ready record, which is the next single off the project. But there's so much drill music, so many drill artists that I'm already on to the next idea and project. So when are we looking to get that next project? You know, I gotta ask you. You know, we cooking up.
I need it. Name something. No date, no name.
I like when you said pay attention. We could probably play off of that, but I don't know. No, nothing. It's still super early. There's so many fire young drill artists that I haven't worked with yet, you know, and I think I want to get in the studio with a lot of them, like 26AR out of Brooklyn, the girl Young Devin. We actually worked on a record. We worked on a record for my project, for the idea I'm telling you. The record was so fire that they were like, nah, we gotta put it on Devin's album. That's how, like, crazy it is, and then we'll get back in the studio and cook something up. So shout out to Legendary Keys, a producer from the UK. Me and him produced a record with Young Devin that's coming out on her project. And I'm excited for people to hear that. I think it's really going to shake the city.
So you're saying more A&R executive producing on other people's projects now?
Yeah, if that's the case. Like, you know, I want to put myself first, but it's always about the artist for me too. So, you know, if I feel like it works better for them, like, go ahead. It's yours. We can always cook up more records together. But, you know, she's a new artist and she deserves every look and every opportunity. So I'm not going to be like the stingy person. Like, no, it's my... Nah, go ahead. Let's go crazy. And you still got my full support. And we still going to, you know, build her up. Because in return, once we do cook up the next one, she's only going to be bigger at that time.
Were you surprised at all about any of the artists that brought the music to you? I know you said the first 13 songs, Clutch, Let's Go. But who's somebody that surprised you during this project?
I think the A Boogie Trap Manny record, which was the first record on the project, I thought it was going to be a hassle because A Boogie's a super duper star, right? And I'm so used to working with artists and going through the manager and through the lawyers and getting stuff cleared. I said, damn, we're going to get this record from A Boogie, but he's so big that it might be a headache to get cleared. And actually it was one of the easiest to work with. So shout out to High Bridge. Like, they made it so, like, easy. And
seamless.
I think, yeah, it's seamless. And then I was like, word, we got an A Boogie record quicker than we did some of these other artists. So, you know, it kind of keeps you motivated. Like, let's keep going. So shout out to them.
I do want to go back a little bit. We talked about Pop Smoke just a tad bit. Is there any other music out there that you and Pop Smoke worked on that didn't leak out that you just holding out of the respect?
Nah, everything that when I was in the studio with them is pretty much out. I'm trying to, because people hit me up all the time, especially his fan pages on like, yo, what other Pop Smoke? And I'm like, I can't even think what other records, because the same session we did the Mary Jane record I was talking about, they did Mood Swings too. And it was like other records he was playing me, but not from my knowledge. I think a lot of the records that I heard or he played me or that we worked on are pretty much out at this point.
But do you feel like you would have done like maybe like a joint project, a joint venture if he was here?
Oh yeah, I wanted to do a joint project with him and TJ, like 6 songs. But you know, it was unfortunate. But I'm glad they were able to work together. They got like 3-4 songs already together. So. I think that's amazing, and we got to figure out who our next superstar is and get them going.
There we have it. Before we get out of here, man, we got to go, but I do want to ask you really quickly, what does it mean to have a seat at the table for other people, young artists, young DJs that are motivated? Can you give them some inspiration for having a seat at the table?
Yeah, I'll just tell them, like, yo, listen, we all ask for our seat at the table, right? Everyone in this room right now, whatever you do as a career or as your passion, you say, yo, I want my opportunity, I want my seat at the table. That's one thing, right? But my big thing is when you do get that seat, because you will get that opportunity. It will come as long as you stay consistent. It's what you do with it when you get it. So as an artist, start thinking about that now. When you do get your break, when you do get your seat at the table, what are you gonna do at that point? And I think that's what, you know, artists got to think about.
Basically, be ready.
Better be ready. Go run it up.
Drewski! Give them your social media so they can find you. If they don't know, I mean, you're out here already, but social media.
Yeah, there's a lot of new people. Thank you for even watching to this point, right? Because we at the end of the interview. But you can follow me at Drewski. That's SODREWSKI. Just hit me on Instagram. Everything is up there. I respond to DMs. I'm not Hollywood at all. So, you know what I'm saying? Get in tune.
Now. King Sharif, this is 50. Keep it kicking.